Hi, this is Aaron Eisberg Nog from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and you're listening to Beyond Trek. You can follow them on Twitter at Beyond Trek Pod and on Facebook at Beyond Trek Productions. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Great River provide.
This is Beyond Trek Podcast, your source for Star Trek on social media and around the web. I'm Big J.
I'm Watney.
And I'm Dag, the Trivia Master. You can find us on Facebook at Beyond Trek Podcast and on Twitter at Beyond Trek Pod.
If you are ready to go, then get your prune juice, your Klingon blood wine, your Tranya, Romulan ale, whatever your drink of choice is.
Thank you.
Yep, Ractagino, whatever your drink of choice is, because we are going to dig into Star Trek Picard Season 1, Episode 5, and let's do some introductions first. Of course, I am Big J. I am here with Nacho, and we've got Watney.
And I'm Watney.
Yep, there's Watney.
And
I'm Dag. And we're going to tell you straight up, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that episode, please keep listening, but you might want to press pause now, check that episode out. We'll wait. And now press play. And let's dig into this. Guys, this episode had the 0 to 100 escalation right off the bat.
Oh, it
saw
did.
This cool planetary thing, and then boom, Icheb is on the table getting dissected, and it's terrible. Tell me how you felt.
Oh,
kind of gross.
You felt gross. This whole thing.
It felt very in your face. I mean, there was no bars held, no holds barred, whatever.
Yeah, it was visceral.
It was very visceral. So like this, I have this thing when I view violence on screen like that I can smell blood if it's really bad. And
wow,
I was getting a whiff.
Wow.
It was kind of crazy. Yeah, super nuts, and was not expecting it at all.
Yeah. No,
I was not either.
As cool as it could have been to be like, oh, Icheb's back. This was not how I anticipated that. It made me feel really bad for all those years we saw him in Voyager, to have him end like that. That was.
Didn't get to say hi.
To be honest, I have no idea who he is, but it felt very dark when we had that, and I kind of felt creeped out.
I'll send you an episode.
Scar for Life too.
We'll get you an episode synopsis, basically, that covers the Icheb, and for our listeners, because our listeners may not be aware either. So in Star Trek Voyager, there's an episode, the Voyager crew came across Borg children. They liberated these children. One of them, 7 of 9, took to as like a mother figure, older sister figure, sort of in there.
Mentor.
Right, mentor. They had a real close connection, and at this point, basically, then flash forward to Picard during this time, she considered him like a kin to her, so closest thing she had to a family, and his torture and death really hit her. So that he's a character from Voyager.
Yeah, it was just his death, not even just like his death, but his death at the hands of somebody Seven cared about. She was betrayed, and it cost her basically her family, and that's devastating. And I mean, we obviously understand that was a milestone in Seven's life. It was narratively, we had to hate this person that killed Icheb, and they did a really good job of getting me to hate B'Jaizel. That was the character's name.
Right, that was the name of the antagonist.
That everyone thinks is
the Deanna Troi lookalike.
Yeah,
right.
But isn't apparently actually telepathic. Otherwise, she would have known what was going on, unless
That's
she's
my
like
guess.
Lon Suitor,
Right.
which would be kind of cool.
Well, and Suitor was only partially Beta Z, like 1/4.
Oh,
Oh,
just like
really?
that lawyer that was up Breaker's butt that one time in Next Gen. It wasn't a lawyer, but I don't know. He was some type of businessman. He was like part.
You're talking about the Barzan wormhole thing where they had
yes,
Devanani Raw, the
yes,
the Betazoid negotiator for the Barzan wormhole.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a jerk.
He was.
He was a dick.
Now, this was the thing that we've got here about that scene with Icheb, the needle to the eye, as a reference to Picard's assimilation.
Oh, yeah.
That scene we saw at the start
beginning of First Contact.
Right at the start.
That
of
was
First
actually
Contact.
my first. That scene with Picard was my first introduction into Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I ever saw was that needle.
Oh, was
like,
it?
The zoom out was terrifying.
Yeah.
Zoom
What a
out
way
of
to be
him,
introduced.
And then, like, getting into like where the needle going into the eye and then him waking up. That was actually the first contact was the first thing I ever saw of Star Trek.
Wow.
So yeah, First Contact and
was...
then Nemesis. Long
and
time ago.
Segueing straight into First Contact and this episode of Picard, both being directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan, 2 takes Frakes.
Yeah, another
Love that
bar,
man.
of course.
Yeah, that man.
Love it.
Poof. It was really nice to see Icheb in a Starfleet uniform. He was a lieutenant. I strongly just want to know the conversation that Janeway, the strings that she pulled to get Icheb where he was, if any at all, unless
I wouldn't think she'd have to pull a lot of
succeeded
strings
on his own merit.
Mm-hmm.
Either of those things would be great, but that's just really cool.
I'm glad he was there.
Trivia.
Oh, we got some trivia. I love the trivia.
It's just a note.
Okay.
The surgeon is hovering over Icheb's head with that tool,
mm-hmm.
and she asks Icheb, "Where's your cortical node?" But as we know from the Voyager episode, Icheb gave his cortical node to Seven. All the parts that we see dissected on that table there were Federation installed by the Doctor. Icheb kind of died for nothing. Like, he didn't have a whole lot of Borg parts.
Yeah.
And
Good
that
catch.
cortical node that they were going for, that Seven had that.
Oh,
And
that's
so
good
that
catch.
that just makes his loss all the more sad for me.
Mm-hmm. And
I
it's
forgot about
interesting they noted that in the script, like that the person pulling him apart. Was it Jazel doing the
No,
actual...
it was one of the surgeons.
It was a lackey or something.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
when
An
Seven starts shooting
Dr.
up the
Lackey.
place. Yeah,
Dr. Lackey.
I like it. Officially, Dr. Lackey.
Dr. Lackey.
She calls to Bejazel when Seven starts shooting up the place, but
It was tough.
Pretty
That was a tough
pretty
one.
gruesome.
yeah.
So then Seven shows up. Bam, 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 bam. Pretty
Shoots a bunch
badass.
of people.
Loved it. Yeah, I was like, there she is.
That was super
Yes.
dark, though.
It was dark.
Very dark. And then ultimately, he's like, just kill me.
Just
I'm
yeah.
like, damn, Seven, why do you want to do that?
Well, and you know what? We didn't get to see him below the waist.
Did
It's
we?
true.
You know?
He could have been completely mutilated.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
Like,
wondering where you were going with that. Like, why would
That's
below
what
the
I
waist
mean
be-
is like,
okay.
did somebody remove a leg or something like that?
Oh,
Yeah, that's insane.
it was a horrible way to go.
It's definitely taking Star Trek into territory that it has never boldly gone before.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Now there was more between. So Bejazel was pulling, kind of orchestrating a lot of things here, and so Bruce Maddox ends up getting in deep with her because Starfleet just dissolved his. The lab was dissolved by the Tal Shiar, so we could see some more of Bruce
With
Maddox.
the ban on synths, he took out a loan from Bejazel to build a new lab, and the Tal Shiar came after him shortly after or during or maybe just before they killed Dodge, because it was recent.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 weeks ago. And we don't have a lot of reason to believe that the show has gone over the span of more than 2 weeks.
In terms of how much time has elapsed.
Right, since
on
episode
screen.
1.
I can only imagine it's a week or two.
Yeah,
something like
you're
that.
probably right.
She initially starts with kill him, and then no, we're going to trade him to the Tal Shiar, so we poison him, and then we beat the hell out of him in between the time
yes, rough
that
him up.
he shows up and the time Picard shows up. Fun fact, she serves him Tranya, which was introduced in the Corbomite maneuver of the original series. So cool drink there.
Good catch. There were a lot of good catches and references in this, and I really like the interaction between Seven and Picard. That
In
really
the Chateaugram.
Yes, yeah, the Chateaugram. It really that was a scene that I've been wanting, the kind of scene an interaction I've been wanting to see for a while. And Nacho, she takes her bourbon straight. So what does that tell you about Seven at this point in her life?
I think she doesn't care about anything much now.
She's seen some stuff, you know. She has seen.
I
some
took
shit.
that as a 7 and 7 joke. If you're familiar with the 7 and 7 drink, a Seagram 7 with 7 Up is whiskey, and the 7 Up bourbon is a variety of whiskey. So you've got 7 and 7.
Oh, ha ha ha! I like
make
it.
the puns.
Not only
We
is he
learn
a
a bit
trivia
more about
master,
the
he's a
Fenris
master of
Rangers.
puns.
Fenris is a world that the Rangers are stationed on, and they are trying to hold the neutral zone together to protect the people.
What
who
are the
cannot
Rangers?
protect themselves. A
The
group of
Rangers
vigilantes.
are they kind of keep the peace on the planets that were forgotten about when the neutral zone dissolved.
Oh.
Mhm.
So they're kind of like law keepers. Some people call them vigilantes, and Picard's like, "You're taking the law into your own hands," and she's like, "What law?" He's like,
Right.
"Touche."
That's fair.
So I
Yeah.
like that interaction because it's two oldies together. We got to see, you know, these two titans of their respective series kind of go at it, acting together. They both acted their asses off, and kind of cool to see where Seven's at. I'm sure she's not where a lot of people wish that she could be character wise. I'm sure she highly intelligent. She could have done any number of things in her life, and so I'm sure some people are upset that she's taken the vigilante route, but I don't know. I like where she's at, and she's doing what she believes in, and she's seen the worst of the galaxy.
You know, it feels like a natural extension of her character arc from Voyager. Janeway
It does.
rescued her from the Borg
Mhm.
and instilled in her a sense of individuality and helping the underdog, and they get back to Earth. And who knows what she did for the first 5 or 6 years, but once that supernova thing gets out of hand, she is doing what she can to take care of people, and I love it.
It's a good character arc for her. I had no issues with her becoming a vigilante. It makes her fit in with the whole thing, with this whole ragtag group of people going on this mission.
I think it's her taking that individuality, like, you know, how I thought one of my favorite parts of the episode was when Seven and Picard say goodbye, and they're talking about their time in the collective, and she asks him, you know, do you think you got your humanity back? And he's like, yeah.
And she gives him the eye.
She's like, all of it? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And I think that her what she is doing day to day is her reclaiming that individuality and making those choices, like kind of going with what you were saying, Dad. It was like making that choice every day to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what they shared in common. They were both assimilated.
And then we get that little sort of bonding moment between Raffi and Rios, talking about the two Borg are talking to each other. Who's this girl? and we get the best 7 of 9 title sequence that all I have to say is Daenerys Targaryen, eat your heart out. 7 of 9, the X-Borg Fenris Ranger from the Delta Quadrant. Yep. Breaker of Chains, all the fun stuff. And then we get this touching moment with Jurati on her bed watching home videos of her and Bruce Maddox, and they kiss. Who didn't see that coming? Raise your hand.
Well, no,
she's into old dudes.
She likes them older. Yes.
Well,
but how does she kiss that big scruffy beard? How does anyone kiss people with big scruffy beards? They look itchy, look bothering. They look like they get in the way.
Yeah, well, when you're old enough to grow a beard, you'll understand.
I'm not gonna grow a beard.
You'll know. Yeah, you'll grow a beard. Sure. Remember Troy in
comment.
Insurrection with Riker? I never kissed you with a beard before.
Except she had Thomas Riker.
Yep.
Anyway.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about. There's something very specific I want to touch on with the Girardi and Maddox
Yes.
Hollow scene. But I wanted to hear your thoughts anymore on, what kind of relationship you think they started with, because the book kind of goes into that.
I think it's interesting the little devices that people carry around now, like how she was watching that. Is that a singular device with only that purpose, or is that like her personal device? Like, I'm just interested in how like technology in the show has changed given what we saw in like TNG. I know you have all your fun toys.
You know what though? That's probably as ubiquitous as a cell phone. You just have a standard holo projector now.
Yeah, but does it allow you to connect with other people? Is Instagram still a thing?
Maybe.
What kind of entertainment do they have now?
They have home videos apparently.
Because in next gen, Data said there's no entertainment.
All our apps and everything on here, and you bet if we had the ability to 3D project a holo communication from these things, we totally would.
Yeah. So I was curious about the device because I just keep seeing these little things that people have that like help them do certain tasks, but I don't see anything like an iPhone that people have.
They probably ran out of business.
Much more compact.
I would think that. You think Apple ran out of business?
Well, okay.
Is out of business?
It would be like something you implant in your arm that you just pull up. Yeah.
That sounds very Borgy. And Apple probably and all other companies, they probably just joined together and made this technology together. So not sold out, but I think they didn't really have like products anymore when they became more diverse. Well,
whoever's behind that, it's Ralph Offenhouse. It's that human that we defrosted in TNG, the neutral zone, almost 30 years ago. We cured him of his disease, and he was like, I must get back to my accounts. Anyway.
We were talking about
and the cookies.
Yes, Girardi and the cookies. I've got a doozy here for you that when you're ready for it, I want to read something here for you.
No, we're both going to talk about the same thing because it's the way he made the cookies. It's the fact that they were synthesized bits baked organically. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, so here's where we're going with that. And I read this in the weekly discussion thread for Picard on Reddit. So on r/Picard, the weekly discussion thread. This theory came from Bard Brain. Bard Brain. He says, Maddox reveals that his key to making a good artificial cookie with its imperfections is not to replicate the cookie, but replicate the ingredients and bake it. That conversation is a key one for Girardi to watch as she contemplates killing him, which is the reason for her anxiety throughout the episode. I think the cookie conversation factors in to why she killed him. And he also says here, his thought is Dr. Girardi physically gave birth to Daj and Soji. Maddox couldn't figure out how to replicate Soong's android research, so he manufactured organic life, complete with natural gestation that could house positronic consciousness. So he couldn't replicate the cookie, which was Data's hardware. So he replicated the ingredients, a flesh and blood organism capable of hosting parts of Data's neural net. And so...
Now, what in spaceborne positronation kind of theory is that?
What in positronation? I think Bard Brain is onto something there, though. So Nacho, basically, what he is surmising here with that theory is that since Data's discovery in 2333, and now here we are in 2398, 2399-ish, in all that time, no one has been able to successfully duplicate Noonien Soong's work. So he was just this genius that, despite the great minds of the Federation, there has not been a success in creating another Soong-type android. So much to the fact that Maddox took it a different way. Said, okay, well, we cannot replicate what Soong did. We can't replicate the hardware. It's just, we can't do it for whatever reason. We fail every time. So instead of trying to replicate the cookie, which would be the hardware of a Soong type android, that body, we're going to replicate the ingredients. We're going to do the ingredients and then bake it, put it together. And I think that scene, I do feel that it's kind of telling. It's, I think
What, you think Dr. Girardi gave birth to the Daj and Soji?
You know,
Because they say whatever the Romulan chick who isn't in this anymore, she was his caretaker, Picard.
Laris.
She straight up says, like, I bet she doesn't have memories past 3 years prior. So that says to me that she was created 3 years prior.
right. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I am totally on board with the gave birth to the twins thing. I'm not sure about that, but I do think that this user on this forum is onto something. I think there is something that was, why have this scene? Why point out a scene where you put time into saying he replicated the parts?
Right. I think the user's onto something, but I think it's going to be a little bit simpler than that. And I say that because when I go out of my crazy theories, I always remember that the writers aren't as insane as I am. I have to dial it back 75%. And the thing is that I had the same idea. He synthesizes the parts and then grows them naturally. And I don't know if he used like a maturation chamber or some kind of aging solution, or whatever technology can be used. I really don't think
I don't either. I just think it's funny that, like,
I don't think
this is potentially being implied. I mean, maybe it is, and this whole show is a fucking dementia nightmare of Picard. Honestly, that would be so dumb.
If Girardi had to give birth to these kids and Linda Hamilton doesn't show up trying to kill the Terminators, I'm going to be upset.
Wait a minute.
Nacho, what do you got?
Doesn't this mean they're breaking a Federation law, though?
There's a lot of laws being
broken. Not about the positronic life thing, but
there's already a ban on sin.
The eugenics law.
Genetically engineered life.
Isn't this
if she's a genetically engineered synth, yeah, you're breaking two bans.
I think you're right,
again,
Nacho.
I think it's a little bit simpler than that. I think he manufactured the parts individually and then grew them somehow, and we're going to find out the specifics on that as we move forward.
And he's making new life, so
yeah.
Technically, that is breaking.
Oh, Cookie, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
that looks good.
Can we talk
about one of his toys off the table and jump back?
Oh, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about Quark?
Quark? Yes, there's a Quark mention.
I'm talking about that greedy big-eared guy from Deep Space Nine.
Right, the greedy guy from DS9.
Yeah. So happy.
The first one, the establishing scene of, I keep wanting to call it Freehold. Is it called Free
Cloud?
Free
Cloud. Yeah. Okay. So the establishing sequence, we see a Quark's bar next to a Mr. Mott's Hair Emporium. And then later when Rios is talking to Vup, he's saying, Mr. Quark of Ferenginar was very highly recommending of you with the Breen incident stuff. It's like, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if Quark hired Rios for a job against the Breen after their attack on Earth.
Wish it was just like Grand Nagus Quark.
Grand Nagus Rom, though.
Yeah, Rom.
I know.
Nagus Rom. Yeah. Well, I like when they went to the planet to try to acquire Maddox in a trade for 7 of 9's parts. So the pop-up ads when they get to Free Cloud, I thought that was a very nice touch. They're getting these custom directed, marketing advertisements, which is the kind of thing like happens now. How many of us have thought of something and then Google recommended it to you the next day and like it just read your mind?
You get this cool sequence that's very personalized. Rios, the ship owner, gets the ad for fixing the ships.
Right.
Picard gets an ad for a chateau and a tea place. Girardi gets an ad for a robotics job application because she's a cyberneticist.
Right.
And Raffi gets an ad for snakeweed. Elnor doesn't get an ad. And before the show started, Watney said,
so
you had a reason.
Yeah, so this whole time, actually, before I like go into the whole thing, is Elnor is giving me vibes like he's watching everything go down like the aliens from Galaxy Quest who are like, oh, the historical documents. Because
my old friends.
And so like he's like, oh, I get it. We're doing deception. And it's kind of cute, but it's kind of like, okay, Elnor, come on. And obviously the reason why he doesn't have a target at that is because he's been living as like an assassin samurai
With
nomad. Living on this planet with basically nothing, and so he has no digital background. He doesn't have a small device that he records things on. You know, he doesn't
have a social media.
He doesn't have a footprint in that realm.
No
so that's
ads.
why no targeted ads.
Gosh, I think she solved it.
Yes.
Poor Elnor.
It's not what I do for a living or anything.
I didn't get one. Jay, that needs to be the next Star Trek Gifts challenge.
Yes.
I didn't get one.
Right.
Use that creatively someday.
I like that. Now, Nacho, tell me what you thought about the plan that they had putting together, doing the flash forwards and putting together their caper.
Honestly, I thought it was going to go good, but I feel like Seven of Nine was going to go out of her way and do something very stupid.
Really?
And it did move. I thought she would have just transported them out of there right when she got close to that lady.
Right.
She
Well,
kinda did something very similar anyway.
Well, yeah, but still, I thought she would have been more of a dick about it, just like transport them out like the second they got there.
well, then we wouldn't have gotten the fine planning and this scene for the monologue. Everyone's setting up the caper and what they're going to do, the parts they're going to play, and I really got this Ocean's 11 vibe from that when they're setting up the whole plan to rob the casino, or in this case do this exchange, prisoner exchange, and Picard playing a Frenchman.
Appropriately sinister.
Right? With the patch, a one-eyed French pirate. That was I thought it was funny. I really like the humor here, and I like that Picard he got into his role.
Yeah. This club gave me significant vibes from, I don't know if you've seen or read Ready Player One, but there's this digital world that you can go into through cyberspace, and you can be anything. Your physical template can be anything. And when they walk into this club, you see a guy leaving and these holographic wings come out. And I'm just like, oh man, 24th century hollow furries. Sorry.
Hollow furries.
A whole new level of
the furries made it
self-expression
into the future.
Man, imagine
and furries being whatever, it's just a whole new level of self-expression. If you want to show up there and you want to look like Spider-Man, you can look like Spider-Man. I just thought that was really cool. New applications of holo technology, decadent applications of holo technology.
Yes, it was good. What would your avatar be? What would be your walkout with the holodeck from?
Honestly,
Wings?
It would probably be
Pizza.
No, it would probably be either Han Solo or Han Solo. Honestly.
Han Solo. Are you kidding me?
Actually, no, Han Solo. I'm sorry. It's his character. I forgot what his name is. Or either Thor.
Thor.
Yeah.
Good choices. I don't know who I would be.
Actually, it's probably not Thor. I imagine myself being a terrible blonde.
You wouldn't make for a good Thor. Oh, that's okay.
I'll be Thor. How about that?
You can be Thor. I'd be Stan Lee.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
I'd just be
gosh.
walking around being like, Excelsior. Excelsior.
So, and Dag, in our review notes here, you had a very good point. So, if they're scanning everyone who came into the club, how do they not detect Borg implants in Picard? Well, but did he?
They knew that
Did he have
she
them?
was coming. Yeah. Because in Picard?
Right.
Picard
I don't
doesn't
think he
have
has
them.
any left.
Right, but they're scanning everybody who's going into this club.
In
They scan
Next
Eleanor, they
Gen,
scan
they
Rios. We can
confirmed
infer
he
that they
doesn't
scan
have any.
Picard. Either the scanner just isn't that kind of scanner,
It's probably a
or
weapons scanner.
Picard legit doesn't have Borg implants in him. He might have some residual connection to the collective that was last exploited, 26 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last time that we really saw Picard, feel the connection. But maybe he just doesn't have anything. I mean, honestly, he really only holidayed as a Borg for like a weekend. He checked into the cube and then checked out.
Not like Annika, who was 6 when she was assimilated, and then
Right.
now she's in her late 30s. Like,
Right.
those are in her forever. Her
She was a Borg.
kidneys. Yeah, like,
She was a Borg for 18 years.
yeah. So they knew that she was on her way, but I'd be very surprised if Picard had anything in him still.
And that's probably the
Picard had
easiest explanation.
Unlimited power.
Unlimited power systems.
Interesting that they would be scanning people coming in for Borg implants. Is that like the kind of club that
See,
she runs?
I don't
like
think they
she's
were
just
scanning
scanning
them for
people
Borg
who come in
implants.
to see
I think it's a
if
weapons
there's-
check.
Probably a weapons check.
Just
Yeah.
metal detector.
It makes me wonder if she knows about the artifact.
Here's one
Yes,
thing.
Nacho.
People can just even in the first episode, get your hand on your side, you're in my bubble, and you can just easily teleport anywhere. Like Picard went into a crime scene, even though it wasn't a crime scene,
Mm-hmm.
and that club, everyone just started beaming out of there with no kind of security. So is that how the world is in the 24th century? You just beam anywhere with no knocking, no warning.
Well, you take advantage of the tech that you have. If you are in a place, I mean, honestly, they must get a lot of fights in there because people had those beam out triggers ready to go.
Well,
Yeah,
when
they
you
do.
have a huge bodyguard like you do,
Dude, that guy was scary.
that guy was straight up
He
scary.
looked like that guy from
like
that Mars
Killer
movie
Croc.
where
He did look like Killer Croc.
Yeah.
I said-
too pale to be Killer Croc.
I said he looked like Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four. He's just a thing.
He looked like that guy from that Mars movie where they're trying to be like beings that can survive on Titan. Actually, no, survive on Titan. It's a Netflix movie.
Oh, I haven't seen
That
it.
guy that played Avatar and no one. Okay.
You lost me. Sorry.
Whatever.
I haven't seen that one.
He is
I'll check it out.
what I headcanon the Borg should be. Or not the Borg, sorry, the Gorn.
The Gorn.
They rhyme.
Can we talk about Rafi?
Oh,
Oh, yes. This
Because this
sad.
actually made me cry a little
yeah,
bit seeing
it
this
broke my heart.
Mhm.
seeing this mom who had been through it and not knowing how to process that and not really leaning on her family as she should and instead leaning on other things and pretty much like making her family secondary to what was going on in her head. Like she didn't know how to get help like for what she had gone through, and then this is like eventually the result of that. And
Mhm.
I think it's like, it's a very good example of, kind of face your problems head on. And when someone you love is telling you something, you need to listen to it, because otherwise you might end up where she is standing and you will have your heart broken. Do I think her son was kind of an asshole? Yeah, I definitely do. Because she
He
traveled
was a
clearly all that
dick.
way to meet him. He's
Mhm.
about to have a kid. You can't even say, fine, let's have dinner one night. You can tell me what you've been up to. It's a straight up cold no. Pack your bags and get a ticket back. Like,
Right.
and then she just shows up on Picard's ship again.
Right. Yeah, like, fine. I'll
Don't
go
talk
with you
to me,
guys.
leave me alone. And I'm like, okay. So is that all we're gonna get out of that?
I've got some inside information,
Oh, insider. Okay. What do you got?
but I want to hear Jay Nacho's take on that relationship.
Between Raffi and her son?
Yeah.
So here's what I think.
Uh-huh.
I think that she got herself so wrapped up in this conspiracy theory that she got on, that it just consumed her life. That losing her career, knowing that they're basically no one's listening to her. She's got this theory. Everyone thinks she's probably a crackpot, and she left the family. She succumbed to the substance abuse, which is very, very sad. Tried to make amends, and he wasn't having it. Nacho, what about you?
Honestly,
Mhm.
I think her son is a big dick. And honestly, he feels, or I feel like he's one of those sons in every movie you've seen over the years where he doesn't forgive, huge dick. He's probably going to do something stupid, and she's probably going to backhand him at the end of the show for a good laugh. And I think he's a big dick. And yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you both raise very astute observations. He is mad with his mom.
yes.
And he's not giving her an inch, and he pushes her out the second that she tries to come back in.
Right.
Mhm.
And
He's
that
very angry. Go
he's
ahead.
pissed. It could
Yeah.
be on his, and I don't even think the writers probably went this deep with it, but it could be from him a semblance of I'm taking control now.
Mhm.
This is my territory, and because she fucked with him so much or so little when he was a kid growing up and just wasn't there was no control for him in that situation. And now he has built a life for himself, and so he's like drawing a line in the sand, so to speak. But hopefully we see more of their relationship, and we see, some balance for Raffi, not just like I'm living this life, the path that I chose, but now I can talk to my family once again. And it's not actually a conspiracy. Like, she was right. This shit is happening.
Mhm.
So, it's hard when you're in that position where you think you're right, but then you're no one believes you. So
Right.
So
I think he's being kind of a dick. Anyway.
So I'm in the middle of Una McCormick's Picard novel, The Last Best Hope.
Mhm.
And it talks about how Raffi was Federation intelligence Romulan division. She had been working intelligence on the Romulans. She's the one who presented the figures on the supernova. And when Picard gets called in, he asks Raffi to be his first officer on his new ship as they're going out into Romulan territory and moving these people. And she's like, this was the chance of a lifetime. This is what her career has been living up to. Oh, but doing so means that no more soccer games with my son until it's over. And that's a dedicated 6 years. And her son is in like those formative years where presence is important. And as time goes on, she is seen watching hollows and communicating with him via these hollows. And she remarks, her headcanon or her internal monologue is, he sounds a lot more like his father. He's acting a lot more like his father. He's picked up a lot more of his father's behaviorisms. And she's lamenting that whatever part of her was there is slowly leaving and so disappearing. And it's sad because that scene with Raffi and him, and he says this thing that just bites me. It's, do you know what it was like to be raised as your son? Everybody around him was humiliating and shaming him because Raffi had publicized or published or gotten out there about this. He was outspoken about this conspiracy on Mars. And we saw that scene that was a flashback between her and Picard, where Picard resigns, and then shortly thereafter, Raffi gets fired. She loses her commission, and she probably doesn't lose her commission because of the thing. She loses the commission because Picard was the only shield to this crazy and dangerous conspiracy theory that, oh, by the way, is almost on the nose. Starfleet couldn't have that, so they fired her. They kicked her out. And she had to live in shame.
dishonorably
wallow in
discharged.
that. You know, she couldn't go back to her family for whatever reason. We don't know that particular thing, but she lived in shame and she turned to substance abuse. And this is 10 years later. And her son has probably spent a lot of time building a barrier to that, building his own life and identifying, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. And then somebody comes along who can immediately violate those boundaries because of our family relationships. You know, some long distance mom or dad came back into your life immediately and offered that genuine thing. And your whole life has been built around this barrier. It's like too little, too late.
Right.
Or
Not
too
till you look
much,
like you
too
had.
quick.
Right.
Not till you look like you had something you wanted to add.
Go for it.
So that's why you're a big dick. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell someone no without telling them no the way he did.
You can.
You know, and that's the other thing. It doesn't have to be 110% anger, lashing out. Like, sure, you might want to tell her how you feel, but you can do that. You shouldn't be yelling unless someone's dying, in my world. You shouldn't yell at somebody unless somebody else is dying.
Right.
Like, you can communicate eloquently as an intelligent being, and he just didn't do that. And
He was
I don't
starting
like
a whole
him.
new life.
Yeah, but that's
He had a daughter on the way.
great job. Good for you. Welcome to society.
Yeah.
Be calm with somebody who's expressing themselves to you is just creating tension or whatever. But I just did not like how he did it. So,
Right.
Okay. Can we talk before we wrap? Can we talk about Aggie and the worthless EMH?
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
What is the
If you
nature
can
of your psychiatric
deactivate an
emergency?
EMH, you need, like, in the middle of a homicide.
Yeah.
If you can deactivate an
This is
EMH,
what
you
I
need a new
talked about
EMH.
with
And
you.
this guy can turn himself on and off at will. We've already seen him do that.
Yeah.
Right? Have we seen him do that?
Yeah,
Yes.
we have actually.
Juan,
He
Yeah.
shows up.
I'm glad you said
He's
that.
always dismissed, but he shows up whenever he wants.
I'm glad you said that, Wanda. That was another thing from the r/Picard weekly thread from a Reddit user. I have to help me with this. Ahufana?
Mufasa?
Ahufana? Nope. If your EMH can witness a murder in progress and still be deactivated by the murderer, it's time for some new programming. So, Nacho, what were you going to say there about the EMH?
That's what I told you. Remember, we had a little argument that I said like how easy it was just to deactivate him.
Yes, a little too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
the first time we see her, she's pacing on the ship before the BMAC, and he shows up and like, "What's the nature of a psychiatric emergency?" And she deletes him, but she's saying to herself, "I can't go through with this."
Mm-hmm.
She's not talking about the beam out. She's talking about Maddox.
She
She
knows
could
what's
have
coming.
easily transported everyone, but like lost his signal.
Lost his signal.
And that would have been a better excuse
But
because
come
she
on,
doesn't know how to
everyone
fucking do
knows
it.
she's a traitor. Like in the beginning of the
she's totally
episode,
compromised.
she was there on time, and she just seems like you could easily fool her or use
Commodore
her
sunglasses.
and manipulate.
Yeah, I think Commodore sunglasses manipulated her into. I don't believe that she's turning on them per se, like she's a double agent, but she was fed information to make her think that this is what she needs to do, because she said that what she knows, and that again takes us back to what is this secret, this knowledge that will make someone like that kill someone, because she does not strike me as a secret double agent or an assassin.
Right.
She seems crazy.
And the knowledge that someone has, that she apparently now has, that someone gave her, it has to be something that's going to it's going to be needed to be reacted to. This is not something like the Romulans made the Borg. Okay, big fucking deal. It already happened. Nothing is going to come of that. It's not like something is on its way. But she's saying, like, you don't know what I know. And that's like a big deal, because that means something is coming. That's what that says to me. It's not like
It's a trap.
something that happened in the past that she's trying to shield everyone from. It's like something is on its way.
And we've gotten foreshadowing of that twice now. Laris said that the Zhat Vash had been formed around some secret so big it would break your mind. Nobody knows what that is.
It's a trap.
And then we see Soji interview Ramda, and Ramda says, "I remember you from tomorrow. You're the destroyer."
Wow.
So these threads are slowly coming together about something that's going to happen in the future that Soji will be present for. Whether or not she's directly responsible, we'll find out.
Yes, not chill.
I think they're gonna do a Star Wars style, and sorry, this is a spoiler, but if you haven't seen the last Star Wars movie, I think this is like a big, huge Borg army, a second attack on Earth,
Oh,
or something. I don't know.
that would be rough.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Durrati doesn't have the means to end Soji on her own.
No.
She can't go up and kill Soji because Soji is gonna get fucking activated.
Right.
So it's like, why did she do that? What is the justification for that story-wise? Because now you've killed another character from TNG. Now you've killed another character from the past.
Yeah.
We're not going to have anybody left. I just really hope
TNG.
that Deanna and
Riker. And
are
Kestra.
fine, and the baby are fine. I hope that we just see them and wave and say hi. You don't have to get involved in this.
Right. Yeah, please don't.
Because anyone that
Okay.
gets involved is not around. I mean, Seven is still alive. Obviously, we didn't see her die on screen,
Mhm.
but
We have to see
she's
Geordi.
probably gone for this whole season. We probably won't see her again
Probably
unless
not.
it's the very end or something.
She gave him a business card.
Yeah,
If you
I know
need a
we'll see her
vigilante.
again, but it's sad that she didn't join them.
Nah,
Like,
she's
I was
gonna
hoping.
round up the Fenris Rangers. It's gonna be like everybody tag teams in for the final battle.
He's
That
gonna
would be
shine.
cool.
He's gonna shine the bat signal. I think he's gonna.
We're
shine
gonna see
bat
the
signal.
Enterprise E, and Worf and Geordi are
yeah.
gonna be there.
If we get
and
the
it's gonna be
Enterprise,
great.
if we get the
Geordi.
Enterprise E, I'm going to officially have a stroke.
Dude,
So
with the graphics of E is gonna look awesome.
Yep. So let's close this out.
Can we?
Okay, you got
can
more?
we-
Yep. Oh, Dak
Dak
was so
froze.
shocked that that his internet blew up. I
I'm
like
here.
that. I like how he froze right
Can
there.
you see me?
Oh yeah. I can see.
Okay.
can see
This is something a
just-
red shirt would have.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Dag, he was clearly making a point, but he'll make it on our Twitter. So speaking of that, we're wrapping the episode. Thank you so much for watching again, episode 5 of Picard season 1. Catch us on patreon.com/BeyondTrek, twitter.com @BeyondTrekPod, or facebook.com/BeyondTrek Productions. And we will see you next episode. Bye.
Oh, wait, Dag's here. Dag's back.
Right.
Did you have the last thing?
Okay.
Yeah, cut that segment and move it to the end.
Okay. What are you going to say?
I totally froze up. I got excited and then everything froze and I went through that.
Did you say son of a?
No, Seven and Bejazel, and you find out that Seven has kind of played Picard this whole game to get close to Bejazel, and then like Picard and Rios are like, "Hey, the numbers don't add up. Come on, let's get back to the ship." And we're gone. And then Rios puts the transporter thing on the pad, and Seven's like, the Fenris Rangers are coming to get me anyway. Can I take 2 of your guns? And she takes 2 phasers, and she beams back down. And she's like, "Hey, Bejazel."
This is for him.
Oh,
And then she just shoots her way out on fully automatic. It was beautiful.
Oh,
I loved it. It was beautiful.
I needed Seven scene. Picard was talking her out of it so hard, and I was sitting there like, no, this is Seven's moment. Let her do the thing.
It also
Yes.
shows Picard is not capable in this instance of talking someone out of something.
Yeah.
He's usually very, very good at being like, "You're better than this." Like, well, he didn't do it with
Nemesis.
Shinzon and Nemesis,
Right.
but he made a good effort. Made a good effort, and most of the time he's really good at that.
He didn't
but
do good
in this
on that
instance,
one.
Seven has her individuality, and she is going with it. She's
Yes.
going with what she knows.
And
Yeah.
then Girardi. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say we love these theories, and we would really like if we had our listeners can certainly chime in on this. We encourage any of our listeners or viewers, if you have a theory, if you have some input, something you liked or didn't like about the episode, or up to the current point in Picard, please give us your take on that. You can do an audio recording, ask for 1 to 3 minutes or so, or even a little video. Just give us a rant, give us a, praise the episode or the show, or just tell us what is it you like or don't like. And you can send that to beyondtrekproductions@gmail.com, or even beyondtrekpodcast@gmail.com. We've got both. And if it's a decently sized file, won't go through email, then please upload it. Dropbox, OneDrive, etc. Send us the link, and we will put you on the show. We'll have a segment that we'll do at the end where we can put you in. Just give us your name, where you're from, and what you think, etc., etc. And Nacho's got Nancy on me again. What do you got?
I was also going to say Insurrection, because he did terrible in that too.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Maddox's murder was an inside job.
We are Beyond Trek Podcast. Lower your inhibitions and surrender your years. We will add inspirational and hilarious Trek content to your day. Your attention will adapt to subscribe to us. Resistance is futile.